Hi guys, I'm Shmi and a very good morning to you from the Aston Martin Test Centre at the Nürburgring in Germany, where I'm going to go for my first drive in my future car, the Aston Martin Vantage GT8. Now this is really kick-starting the Road to GT8 video series. I'm going to show you everything from driving it today, my first time out in the car, going over the specification that I'm going to choose for my very own GT8. Then it will be the build process. We're going to have an exclusive look behind the scenes at the Aston Martin factory in Gaydon, Warwickshire, where we can see my car being built. How cool is that going to be? And then it's going to be delivery, taking the car out on the roads for the first time when it is mine. So today, it's my first drive, and we're at the Nürburgring, which means the Eiffel Mountains. We're surrounded by some spectacular roads. I've got probably the very best sounding and enjoyable driver's car right now to take out and drive. So I'm rather looking forward to today. Let's go have a look at the car. GT8 then, doesn't it just look menacing? Now you might have seen I recently came out here to visit and film with this car as part of the My Favourite Engine Sounds, because I picked this car as my very favourite engine sounding car out there. The 4.7 litre V8, naturally aspirated with a screaming titanium exhaust system. It's an optional system, but I'll show you more around those kind of things in a moment. The car takes sort of heritage and pays homage to the GT8 race car, fairly successful car in recent years, and it's going to be limited to 150 of these, so not many GT8s out there. This one's finished in sterling green with the lime accents, so you've got the sort of halo scheme, they call it. A couple of different colour choices where you have the contrast between your main body colour and the sort of highlights that you can see around the car on the carbon fibre and painted slightly onto the side there, and if we come around the rear you'll see around the rear lights as well. So it's got 446 PS, that's 440 brake horsepower from that engine. I'm definitely going to show you that in a second because it's a pretty spectacular thing to be looking at. Now, of course, the model is based on the V8 Vantage. It's a platform that's been around for quite a while and one that's gone down with great success. It's been immensely popular. I, in fact, had a 4.7 V8 Vantage Roadster back in 2010 to 2012. That was a 2009 car and I just loved it. It was my first proper car. So this is the final version of the V8 Vantage. This is the sort of tribute to the model series before an incoming model replaces it in due course. And I just, as soon as I heard about it, as soon as I heard this was coming, I was instantly sold. It's sort of, for me, the emotional connection and attachment back to Aston Martin and to the V8 Vantage. This is a collector's piece, but it's one that I'm also going to do my best to drive and enjoy owning as well, and take out all sorts of trips, events and the like. Before I go any further though, I want to show you the engine, and we're going to have a look under that hood at what we've got going on there. So the key, the emotional control unit, the glass key, famous obviously from Aston Martins. The door handles, you press in, it opens up and you pull it, and then the door opens upwards and outwards on the swan hinge. You're not going to hit any curbs or anything with it. Then the bonnet release is just down here. You come round to the front, lift it up, and we're greeted by glory. So it's mounted front mid. Obviously the engine is behind the front axle there, which is going to give it a nice weight balance, even weight distribution. But that's the source of the 446 ponies that are going to be powering this magical beast. But it's when you hear the exhaust system that things really come to life. So we're going to do that in a second, because back here, down under this mean diffuser are these bad boys, the dual titanium exhaust pipes. And you wouldn't believe the sound that this system makes. It is mind-bogglingly impressive from a stock system. If you wouldn't ever consider modifying one of these. GT8 is straight out of the box, perfect. You've got the aero kit, that's the rear wing, and also the extended sort of apron at the front splitter. These lower parts you see that are painted in lime here, down around the front. Potentially dangerous for catching low curbs and the like, but that's part of the game you have to play with these kind of cars if you want the driving experience. So let me head inside and fire this up. as we head towards the inside. You've got all of the carbon fibre and Alcantara you could ever imagine wanting. Combine that with these awesome bucket seats, fully clothed in Alcantara, GT8 embroidery up here, Alcantara steering wheel. Look at the door card. That entire piece is carbon fibre, finished with some nice leather trim and the leather door pull here. So obviously when you come to speccing the car, you've got some nice options to play with here. The door sill has this carbon fibre Vantage GT8 plaque as well, just inside the fly-off handbrake. If you don't know how that works, I'll explain shortly. But let me step in. This car, you'll notice, is fitted with the paddle shift system, the sport shift gearbox, the semi-automated single clutch. So you've got the sort of various controls here. You can also have it with a manual gear stick. And Aston Martin are suggesting around 70% of cars will have the manual. I can tell you right now, mine will definitely have the manual, although the steering wheel will be on this side, but we can deal with that. If you look at the dashboard, you've got this sort of traditional rev counter that goes in the opposite direction. Carbon fibre here as well, up through the centre stack, with the sort of revised waterfall system. But let's pop this in here and see how it sounds. It is a monster. This car is an absolute monster. The navigation screen folds up out of the centre stack. This whole dash and the hood on the centre console, all Alcantara. I love how you see the sort of different colour of the door mirrors as well, obviously sat in here. And then in my eye line is that tip of the wing as well. That's so cool. Obviously that's right there in the rearview mirror. I think you'd see other cars sort of under it. Not going to obscure, but I'm going to be going for a drive in a moment. And let me just tease it a little bit. Yeah, it's an animal. It's a savage animal. We knew it would be, and I'm so pleased it is. But I think it's time to plug in some cameras and take it for a first ever drive. Okay, so this is a good situation to be in. The engine is fully warmed up already. Now, sport shift system, foot on the brake, pull the gear stick, fly off handbrake. You lift it up, pull it up, press the button and push it down. Let's get rolling. And immediately, the grumble and sort of noise is mesmerizing. You just feel like you're in a savage beast. Okay. This is going to be fun. Pop it in neutral with both pedals. Now, I've got a rather big bump to get over here. Let's do this very gently. Okay, we haven't touched. That's good. Put into first gear then. I thought the car was going to touch the ground there, but no, we're away. So, wow. Gentle acceleration. Would you listen to that? That's... Let me put the window down for a second. Whoa! Whoa! That noise! I don't know what to say. This is leaving me speechless. Right. Let's hear this. Goodness me! It's like... I don't even know what it's like. There's nothing like it. We're not even moving fast, and the noise it's making. Okay, it's time to gather thoughts. Time to gather thoughts and senses and think about this and what we're in. GT8, 150 cars. I can actually tell you the number of mine. Mine is going to be number 120. And like I said before, with the manual gearbox, because I feel like unless you're chasing performance numbers, you want the driver engagement and enjoyment, and there are so few manual cars being made now that it's an absolute delight that you're able to get one, and Aston Martin are still making them. They also have the V12 Vantage S now with manual, so I'm not going to waste the opportunity. I'm going to have that manual gearbox. You know, if I want to go desperately fast, I'll drive the McLaren, the 675 LT. Lots more power, lots less weight. That's not what this car is. This car is about emotion and driver connection. It's about the iconic Aston Martin combined with how good they are to drive. The Vantage has always been a brilliant platform for driving experience, and obviously I haven't really driven much yet. We've gone about 1 kilometre, but I'm imagining this is going to be quite spectacular as well. So let's turn onto a road where we're going to be able to open it up a little bit. Just the noise, it's overwhelming. It's all around you, completely immersive, just everything, and it overrun burbles and rumbles, and there's just tons going on back there. You downshift, the engine revs rise. Can't imagine how good it is to be heel and towing, blipping the downshifts. Let's just go up through a few gears because there's a lot of torque here, so we can be cruising along in a higher gear. Ride is pretty firm, given that we're on spectacularly smooth roads, but you'd expect so. It's a car that's paying sort of homage and heritage, like I said before, to the GT8 race car. Aston Martin Racing have been going for a long time, creating fantastic machines. They even raced a race derivative version of this car, of the GT8, in the VLNs and the N24. I can't resist. I just can't resist dropping the gears and doing that. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. The Nordschleife is just over there as well, by the way. Oh my goodness! What a crazy sound! What a crazy, crazy, crazy sound. Seat's really good. Very nicely padded, supportive, comfortable for me for sure. Visibility is great. It's the same Vantage platform we know from before. But looking in the mirrors, seeing the rear wing, and I think I said before, you can see the tips of it on both sides and in the rear view mirror. Just amazing. What a car! What a car! It may be an old platform, and it may be running old technology, but that's what makes it so beautiful. There's no electrical stuff, or very little electrical stuff by modern standards, taking over and intervening with your driving experience. It's you, the car, and a whole lot of noise. I'm just changing between second and third, which is set up so nicely for this kind of road, because the noise there at the top end of the rev range, my word, it's a different league. I don't think I've ever driven a stock car like it. It doesn't exist. Well, other than maybe GT12, Aston's big brother to this, based on the GT3 car. But, I mean, just the sounds it makes in everything you do, and the way it feels, the steering, for example, is beautiful. The suspension is set up so nicely for this kind of road, which you'd expect with a race-inspired car. The gearbox, though, perhaps a tiny bit too slow for my liking, but that's always going to be the way with a semi-automated car, and why I will and have selected for the manual. It's very nice to position. I just hope a good number of these get driven how they're clearly intended to be driven. I just worry with so few of them out on the road that many people might be a bit afraid of it. Definitely not me. This is a car that wants to enjoy the road, really wants to enjoy the road, and mine is definitely going to, because it's hard to explain this connection you can have with a car that isn't just about chasing performance numbers. You can have however many horsepower, however light the car is, but sometimes there's more to a package that makes it work. For example, why I drive my Focus RS so much. It may not be anywhere near the price tag of this car, or the McLaren, or the Ferrari, or the GT4, but what it is a car that you drive, and it's just so enjoyable, and you get out of it every time thinking, cool, that was fun, that was enjoyable, and that's what makes a driver's car. This is a driver's car. I don't know if you've seen any of the other videos, but Steve Sutcliffe took one out, and he said if he had the money to buy a car out of every car he's ever driven, and he's a man with a lot of journalistic experience driving many very exciting cars, he said it would be GT8. And I'm very, very, very pleased that I paid that deposit, because I cannot wait for mine to arrive. This is a proper driving experience. Imagine what it would be like on a track. It's Sport Cup 2 tyres, super sticky. Although obviously with the current weather, I need to take it a little bit easy, but my word. My absolute word. I don't know what else to say, just... accelerating anything like full pelt, but the drama that comes from it. Sorry, you're watching me being a giggly schoolgirl, mostly because of the excitement that I have for this car. For mine coming, it's going to be about December when it arrives, and yeah, it's mega. It's so cool. It's so cool. Up to this point, I have not yet pressed the sport button. Let's do that. I can instantly feel the change in throttle response, and if there were any valves controlling anything, they're now even more open. And it's just beyond words. What is this experience? How have they done this? How is it road legal? So many questions, but so awesome in the process. This is like, it's one of those cars where you could be driving past like an old lady in a town at 20 kilometers an hour in a 50 zone, and she'd scream at you for driving too fast just because it sounds so loud. You can only assume you must be going a Mach 10. I mean, it's plenty fast enough. I think that's part of the point with this kind of thing. 400 horsepower is already enough. 446 PS is sort of far more than you're ever going to need on the road anymore. But it's like the more I drive it, the more it makes me smile. I can't get my head around this thing, and I can't wait to have it myself. Sadly, I'm going to have to give this one back eventually, but crackle, 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 out into the sunshine again. What is it? I'm in heaven. This is amazing. Imagine what it's like with the manual. Just, oh my gosh. There's a tunnel just here. Window down. Are you ready for this? What is that? Oh my god! This is surreal! V8 Vantage GT8 is the best sounding car in the world. I'm still driving in sport mode just to enjoy and appreciate a few more corners. And as much as I would love the gearbox to be a little bit quicker shifting, that's what we'll have in the next generation. I think that's the thing with this car. It's the manual engagement and natural sort of connection to it that comes from the slightly older platform. And then when you downshift higher up the rev range and get that different character that comes from the quicker shifts, it just snaps in. You don't need to drive this fast to have this massive smile on your face. You can just cruise on the road well within the speed limits and just be beaming, absolutely beaming. It's insane. That's into the sunshine. Wow. Yeah, some things in life just don't make sense. This is more expensive than a McLaren 570S or an Audi R8 V10 Plus or all sorts of other cars. I mean, by the time you've spec'd it up with the bespoke options list and been to Aston Martin Q, you're probably paying Lamborghini Huracan or Ferrari 488 money. But that doesn't matter. It's irrelevant because you can't buy this smile. You can't, well, you can buy a GT8, but you can't otherwise get that in every possible case, and it's a limited edition. There are only 150 of them. You go through the Aston Martin VIP program, which I can tell you is a very fun thing to be doing. And tunnel again, tunnel again, tunnel again. Oh my goodness. Oh, one touch up. No, only one touch down. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Just no more words. No more words. This is phenomenal. This is an absolute dream. I'm very, very excited to take delivery now of my GT8. So on with the specification. I'm going to pull back now to the Aston Martin test centre, take a proper look around again, show you the ins and outs and some more details of the car. Back at base and parked right under the Aston Martin sign there on the front of the building, as if we didn't already know we were in an Aston. It's such an iconic sort of shape and character and thing, something so special about it. But let me show you, I guess, a bit more of the interior in here and what we're looking at. Now, the GT12 had a more bespoke, custom waterfall, they call it, central console. This has maintained more of the traditional look, but with the carbon weave to it as well. But let's start at the dashboard and dials. Now, this has basically been the same since the Vantage was introduced, but the font has been updated since, so that's the only difference from the old Roadster I used to have. Just this really cool rev counter that goes the wrong way when you do that. So there's very basic information. You've got the trip button here at the end of the stalk that can scroll through the right display, and you get trip information and an odometer and temperature and time and stuff. Range to empty, you know, your usual kind of information. Clock, so there's not that much you can see on there, but you don't need to. Steering wheel, same design that's existed since the beginning. It's quite nice. Obviously a more modern car might have some slight updates to it, but it's functional. You've got your your mirrors and your mirrors and your windows, if I could get the words out right there. Your lights down here. You've got the fold-out screen in the centre, which has been updated multiple times. It's controlled through this jog dial and button in the centre, which takes us through a few different settings. So if we press it in, the reversing camera quality is pretty good on the reversing camera. And then you've got the haptic kind of, you can probably just hear it when you press, you know that you've pressed. Nav, okay, pressing that doesn't do anything. I've got to learn and go through the different things and menus, radios. Oh, we don't want that. Turn the volume down. So slightly updated from the first round of okay, yeah, there's some cool stuff. That's a nice one. So you can keep sport mode engaged when you turn it off, so it can turn back on in sport mode. This is why I like playing through options and just seeing what else there is, what you can do with it. There's actually quite a lot of stuff you can customize, so that's cool. And the jog dial, by the way, you push it to go through menus left and right. Audio settings and different bits and bobs, so that all works quite nicely. I'm sure there's a way to turn it off. Maybe you press and hold and it folds away. There we go. So you can see the motion as it tucks back in, and we're greeted by carbon fibre dash. Nice and easy, hey? So as we come down under that, we've got the sport mode button, reverse, neutral, drive. Obviously you only have those if you have the sport shift car. If you have the manual car, those aren't there. These are the haptic buttons I mentioned, air conditioning controls and the like, trip buttons to reset the trip, you press and hold here and that kind of stuff, traction control, fog lights, locking, opening the boot, this for coins, business cards, toll things, that kind of stuff, ashtray and power socket. Now this, the armrest, you can now get, this is the sort of traditional armrest that Astons have had for a while. You can fold that out and have cup holders, nice little finish. Use that to open this, and then you've got your storage bucket for bits and pieces, but you can order GT8 without this. So it has this sort of lower console going all the way back, which is called the low-line center console, which I think I'll have, because when you've got the gearbox, it means your elbow can sit sort of that touch lower, which is slightly nicer for the driving experience. There's a parcel shelf behind us, good for stuff, I suppose. Underneath these are other nice strut bars, which have, I guess, coat hooks on them too. So it's all pretty familiar, but familiar in a good way, because it's a platform that's proven itself and everybody loves it, and it works. It works brilliantly. So let's hop outside and have another look around. First, shut the car off, and out we pop. Door handle just here. Let's talk a little bit more about some of the options on the car, the optional specification. And like I said, this has the halo scheme. So the halo scheme is the 9 different sort of accented colours you can see around, but in 3 default configurations. So this is actually the launch car, the car I went to see as a depositor on the car before it was shown to the public. So you've got the end plates on the wing, the surround around the lights, the stripe here on the top side of the rear diffuser, the side skirt, this very delicately painted stripe down the side, which is actually under the lacquer, the door mirror caps, and around the front you've got 3 more parts. You've got the centre of the carbon fibre grille, which is an option on its own. You've got this lower part on the splitter, and then you've got these extenders at the base as well. I like how the headlights are black inside, nice contrast against the paint. Now let's talk wheels. This is a magnesium centre lock wheel. It's a very, very expensive option, but they do look cool. So kudos to anybody who specs that onto their car. The badges, dry carbon, unfinished, not lacquered. I think those are really, really awesome. Don't really serve that much purpose, but they look so good that I will certainly be having them on mine. So I like the idea of accented colours. Yeah, sorry, I was just coming in to show you the wings badge at the rear too. I like the idea of accented colours, but I don't think I'd go the whole hog, and I definitely will do it custom colours. I think the car needs to have that sort of customized appearance. I mean, it's based on a race car. It's supposed to be wild and lavish and in your face and bright and stand out and instantly recognizable. So some people, I'm sure, will say Aston Martins are supposed to be elegant and beautiful. This starts with the elegant and beautiful image and appearance and that iconic Aston Martin look, but it adds to that the racing kind of element, the driver focused excitement that comes from the car, hence the two-tone finish. I think if you don't understand the point of the car, you'll probably never understand the point of the car. So I could try and spend all day explaining it and probably getting nowhere. By default, the aero kit is actually optional. I think I might have said that. The wing, the full carbon wing, which has these lovely struts out of the rear deck lid, and those pieces around the front are part of optional specification. The exhaust is an optional specification option, but generally speaking, most of it is down to the colour schemes and things you'd like and bits and pieces, carbon pack. So, I mean, for me, I'd want to make this car look the absolute bee's knees. It's worth making a special configuration. So I will do my absolute best to ensure I do so. And something from the outside that carries through to the interior too, to tie it all together as a very nice package. This is my favourite bit, the cutaway behind the front, just like the race cars. I'm sure this will get peppered to pieces. That's why you need PPF film on it, with stones flicking up. But aerodynamically, very, very neat little touch there through to the carbon side skirt. So alas, I think that's going to be my time with GT8 over for today. Lock the car up. What an experience. What an experience. I'm a little bit speechless, kind of blown away. I knew it was going to be good, but my word, is it truly epic. I'm a lucky, lucky, lucky boy to be having one of these coming in the future, and I'm hopefully, well, like I am going to be doing the road to GT8, I'm going to be sharing all of this with you guys to try and bring you along on what's it like, what's this experience like, getting the opportunity to purchase and be part of such a special and limited car as the Aston Martin GT8. So here we go, road to GT8 has started, first drive done. What an awesome drive it was too. So thank you ever so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video and my initial driving impressions of GT8. Make sure you check out the other videos out there, including Mr. Sutcliffe behind the wheel of the manual car in the UK, and I hope I get an opportunity to drive that too in the not too distant future. That's it for now though. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll catch up with you again with more stuff of the GT8 in the not too distant future. Cheers!